Hello YouTube, this is Coaster901 here, and I'm going to be building a satellite and sending it into orbit. I will be using MechJeb again, and if you do not know what MechJeb is, or if you do not have MechJeb, I have a link in the description below in case you want to get that. And also, if you do not know what MechJeb is, it is an autopilot, so it's really nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the satellite. I'm going to use this square command pod, unmanned command pod, but I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I can't. Okay, so let's move this up a little so we have some room to work with. Okay, that should be good right there. Okay, so now we're going to go into, let's see, structural. And we're going to grab the modular girder segment XL. I guess that's how you pronounce that. But first we're going to turn on 4-way symmetry and turn angle snap on. You do not have to use angle snap obviously, but it's just a lot easier in my opinion. Okay, so trying to get those as even as possible. And this will be a pretty big satellite, not like super huge, but it won't be like the smallest one. So now we're going to get one more and put it on the top, but we're not going to put that on the bottom. Okay, hold on. Let me set this up so I can grab it pretty easy. Okay, so that looks good enough. Now we're going to come under here and grab this sort of triangular looking one, the girder adapter. So we're going to put this on the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, and grab MechJeb before I forget about it. So we're going to go into control, put MechJeb on here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start actually building the satellite. And this will not be a satellite that will refuel rockets, but it will be able to recharge. If you would like, recharge the cockpit, or if you just want to dock and start building a space station or something like that. So let's go ahead and put, in case you do want to recharge or anything like that, let's put some docking ports on these 4 sides, but not the top one. So let's put the Clampotron Juniors on here. Okay, that looks good. If I can get them on there. I'm trying to. It's not letting me place for some reason. Okay, there they go. Okay, so that looks good. Now we're going to come up to the top. And we're going to put this ringed battery pack on there. Not quite sure what it's called, but we're going to put it on there. Ooh, my system, or this game's being a little glitchy right now, as you can see. Sure if you can see that. It's kind of weird, I don't know what it's doing. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have that on there, we're going to go into sign. And I'm going to put one of these Cometron things on here, sort of like satellite thing, just to make it look a little bit cooler or better. And obviously, this doesn't really do anything, but I'm still going to put it up here. Okay. So our next step is adding some satellite. So I'm going to turn 4-way symmetry on. Okay. And then satellites are in utility, and I'm going to grab the huge, or the big, Gigantor XL solar arrays and put them on the side over here. So obviously we cannot put any solar panels right here because this solar panel will hit any solar panels on this side. So obviously we can't put anything right there. So now let's go ahead and add some more. First, you can see that this is like really uneven here. Let's only fix that up a little. I guess that's the best I'm going to be able to get it. But that looks a lot better. Okay. So now let's go ahead and add some solar panels up here. I'm going to use a OX4L 1x6 solar panels, just to start out with. So turn 4-way symmetry on 4, or turn 4-way symmetry on. I'm just going to try to line those up as best I can. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to grab the OX4W 2x3 solar panels and put those under that one, and then put another one under there. It really doesn't matter what you put under there. It really doesn't matter what type of solar panels you really use, but this is how I'm designing it. Okay, so now that we have that, let's put some battery packs on this guy. I'm going to grab these bigger ones, and don't put them all the way up here where the docking ports are. Put them sort of in the middle, and I'll tell you why later. So I'm going to add 2. Trying to get them as even as possible. I guess that's good enough. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to add some lights over here in case it's dark and we want to see the sky in orbit. So I'm going to use the MK2 lights. You can use the MK1, it really does not matter. So I'm just going to place those right there. And we're going to go ahead and put some below 2 in the same spot. Okay. So everything looks good up here. I'm trying to think anything else right here. Up top, fine. Up top looks good. So before you put some solar panels down here on the bottom, we will need to be putting, let's see, some more rockets right here to help us get in our last little stage to get into our orbit, depending on what your orbit, what kilometers you want your orbit at. So we're going to grab the MK, or the M1x1 structural panel, and turn symmetry mode on 4. And try to get these as far to the bottom as possible on that little triangle adapter. See, my symmetry mode isn't wanting to work. Not sure why. Hold on, let me try one more time. Okay, there it goes. So try to get it as far as the bottom you can without going too far. So that's about as far as it goes. Okay, so now that those are on there, we need to go into propulsion and grab, or second page of propulsion, and grab the Oscar B fuel tanks and put them under all those guys right there, and then put another one under that one. Wow, my symmetry is not wanting to work. Okay, so now that we've done that, go to the first page in propulsion and grab these teeny rockets up here, the LV1 liquid fuel engines, and place those on all 4 of those rockets there. Okay, so that looks perfect. And this kind of looks plain right here and kind of dull, so we're going to add some of those guys that we put up top, the satellites, I guess you could say. Okay, so we're going to put those right there. Trying to line them up as even as possible, but that's really hard, so I'm just going to add them right there. Okay, so that looks good. So let's go ahead and put some solar panels on the bottoms, and as you can see that I wanted to put the solar panels on before you put, or I wanted to put these on before you put the solar panels, because if you put a solar panel right there where my mouse is, it'll hit the little panels or whatever those are called. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and put some more solar panels on this guy. I'm just going to use the OX4L 1x6 solar panels here. Symmetry mode on 4. And place those guys right, or that guy right there. I'm not going to try to put another one on, but if you want to squeeze another one on in there, you can. But I am not. Well, actually, let's do this. Since the light, this will block the light, I'm going to move it up as far forward as I can. think that's as far forward as I can get it, but it looks fine. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and put all these guys in our action groups. If you don't know what action groups are and you don't know how to use them, you see this little, where my mouse is, these little gears up top where my mouse is, it says action groups. If you click on that, it'll switch you over into this. And if you click on custom one, say you're in orbit or you're in space, you're getting ready to launch or something like that, and you click custom one, and you click the one on the top row of numbers on your keyboard. If you set these solar panels in custom one and you click one, the number one, the solar panels will extend, and if you click it again, they'll retract. Same thing with lights and these satellites and all that good stuff. So I'm going to add all my my solar panels in custom one. So all you do with solar panels is you click on the solar panel group and you click toggle panels, and then it's in custom one. Okay, so I'm going to add all these solar panels because I want all my solar panels to go to extend at the same time. Okay, so that's all my solar panels. Now I'm going to go to custom 2, and obviously in custom 2 you're going to, if you click 2 while you're in orbit or wherever you are, the thing that you put in custom 2 will deploy or turn on. So I'm going to put lights in all the lights in custom 2. And then in custom 3, I'm going to add the satellite dishes, or the satellites, whatever they are. Okay, so now that you have that, you click up here where the spaceship is, and it will take you back. So everything looks good for the actual satellite part. And before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and name this guy. I'm going to name it Fusion. Let's see, Fusion 4000 SAT. Okay, so that's good. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and get started on the thing that's going to get us into orbit and get us out of the atmosphere. So let's go into structural, second page, and grab the TR18D stack separator and put her under the little triangular thing right there. Okay, so once we have that, we need to go into the first page of structural and grab the RockMax branded asset and put it right there. And as you can see, the fuel or the fuel tanks do not touch the adapter, but it gets really close. Thankfully it doesn't. Okay, so once we've done that, we need to go into the propulsion and get the Rocket Max Jumbo 64 fuel tank and place that right there. Well, actually not right there. I need to place it right there. Okay, so that looks fine. So let's go to the bottom and add the man cell engine, liquid engine, and let's place that right there. Okay, so now what we need to do, excuse me, is we need to turn two-way symmetry on, and we need to go into structural and grab the T70 or the TT70 radial decoupler and place them on this side or the other side if you would like, above the little dark line, if you can see the dark line. So I'll place it right above that, or right on that. Okay, so now that we have that, and if you're wondering what this is for, we do need to add extra fuel tanks to go into this middle fuel tank, so we can, because it will not get into orbit without these. It won't have enough fuel. And I'm not going to use cheats on this. Okay, so let's add a fuel tank right here. Make sure it worked. Okay, yeah. So we're also going to add one below it. And on top. And we're actually going to add two on top. Just like that. Then we're going to add another one on the bottom. So in all we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So everything looks good there. So now I'm going to add a nose cone on top to make it look better, on top of these little extra fuel tanks. No point at all, it just makes it look better. Okay, so now we need to go and get some more decouplers. Well, first actually we need to go into propulsion, second page, and grab the fuel ducts. The FTX2 external fuel duct, and connect all these fuel tanks on the side to the big middle one up here. If I can click on them, it's not letting me. Okay, hold on here. Okay, there they go. So connect every single fuel duct and make sure two-way symmetry's on, and connect all these fuel tanks, not fuel ducts, to this middle one. And make sure that you go. If I can click on them, why isn't it letting me click on them? Okay, there. And make sure you go to the outside fuel tank, so the middle fuel tank, or the fuel will not flow right, and it'll jack everything up. Okay, so we're on the last one here. Okay, so now that we have that, I did forget one thing. If you're not going to be using MechJeb, you will need to add a, let's see, advanced SAS right here, the large one, and place it right there. Okay, so everything looks good now. So now we do need to add some, we do need to add some extra rockets on the side. So we do need to go into structural, second page, turn symmetry mode on, and place them somewhere right around there, but not in the middle, not in the middle. I wouldn't put them on the middle. Now that we have that, we need to go into propulsion, grab these small little RT10 solid fuel boosters, and place those there, and then put an aerodynamic nose cone on top, just to make it look like, I guess, a little better. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to go back into structural and get more of those decouplers, and place these ones right here. Okay, then we need to go to propulsion and get the RocketMax BACC solid fuel boosters, these huge ones. Place those on either side, or each side. And I'm going to go into aerodynamics and get some nose cones here. If I can get them again. Okay. And place those there. So now that we have that, looks good to me. I'm trying to think if we need anything else. Oh yes, we do need something else. We need to go into structural. Well, you don't need this, but I would suggest it. These little, whatever these are called, I'm not quite sure what these are called, and I do not feel like seeing, so I'm just going to place these there. And there's something else that's really crucial that I forgot. So we're going to grab the EAS 4 strut connectors, and we need to add lots of stability to this, so it's not wobbling around and nothing will come apart in the or trying to get into orbit. So place all the one strut connector on double symmetry from each small fuel tank to the big middle fuel tank, and make sure your double symmetry is on. Okay, so now that we have that, we do want to add some more strut connectors on these two huge rockets on the sides, so the solid fuel boosters. So here. Okay, so we're going to add them on the nose cone. Double symmetry again. So add them on the nose cone to this RocketMax adapter here. And we're also going to do that on these small outside fuel tanks. put those just like that. And we do not need any strut connectors for this guy, for these two guys, small ones. That's just like a little extra boost. And to keep this the actual satellite sort of stable, we're going to add more strut connectors. So go on 4-way symmetry and place them right here in between those two, on the adapter in between the two what are they called? The two gray lines, I guess, and connect it to the. You can see that right there in the creases of the little whatever those are. Okay, so now that we have that, I think everything's good. I'm trying to think of anything else. But yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah. So let's go ahead and save this guy and launch. Oh wait, I remembered. Okay, so if you're not using MechJeb again, right here you'll need to remove this and go into, let's see, propulsion, and grab a, let's see, an FLR25 RCS fuel tank and place it somewhere. I'm not sure. I think that's the only like fuel tanks or something. But anyway, you will need to put that somewhere. And you'll need to add RCS because it's really hard to control without RCS if you're not using MechJeb. So I did need to tell you that. So let's go ahead and launch. Clear launch pad and proceed. And again, I think I've already said this, but MechJeb, if you want it, it will be in the link or in the description below. The link will be in the description below. Okay, so it's a screen recorder, but it is very good since it's free. Okay, so now that we're in here, or out on the launch pad, we want all the rockets or the fuel boosters or whatever you want to call them, the engines, to go off at the same time. So we want all those to be in the first stage, and we also want these stability enhancers on the outside to be in the first stage also. Obviously, we want those to be in the first stage. So I'm going to put those in the first stage, and also I'm going to put the middle rocket in the first stage. Okay, so all the rockets and the stability enhancers are all in the first stage. So the next thing that we need to do is set up all of our decouplers in the right stages. So we want this small rocket here, these two, that small rocket and the one on the opposite side, to go off first. So add a stage between 2 and 3 and find the decoupler to this small rocket here. Okay, so I found it and put it in the third stage. Okay, so next we want all these extra fuel tanks on the side to go off next. So find the decoupler for that. Okay, I found the decoupler. So we're going to add another stage in between 2 and 3 and put that decoupler there in the third stage. Okay, and now next we want these big solid fuel boosters to go off next, and that should be in the next stage. And then we want this decoupler to go off, and then these fuel little tanks things to go off. So now we're going to open MechJeb and click on Ascent Guidance and close MechJeb back up. Okay, now you should see this. If you've never used MechJeb, let me show you how to use it. I'm going to set my orbit altitude to 6,100. You know what? Let's do 5,000. Let's just do 5,100. Okay. So now we need to click in Prevent Overheats, or this is what you should click in. Prevent Overheats, Corrective Steering. You definitely need corrective steering, and you want Auto Stage and Auto Warp. That's what I recommend clicking in. Okay, now you just click Engage Autopilot and click out of MechJeb, and now click Spacebar whenever you're ready. Okay, so now we go, or here we go. And I guess this is sort of the boring part. You just have to sit and wait. And I'm showing you now that I do not have any cheats going. And if you do want to use cheats to get up to a crazy orbit of like 500,000 kilometers, if you would like, Alt 12 or Alt F12 pops up this, and you can click Infinity Fuel, RCS, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. So I'm just proving that I do not have any cheats. So yeah. Just making sure all these extra little fuel tanks are working. They are. And I think these fuel tanks are going to get all empty before this guy goes off. So, yeah, hold on, I think it is. Let's see first, I'm not sure if it is or not. So let's make sure. Okay. Actually, I don't think it is. Yeah, it's not. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, so all the staging is good. Okay, so the two small outside boosters here. This. Okay, so those just fell off. Two small outside ones. And then the next thing that's going to empty out is this guy. All these extra fuel tanks here are getting ready to fall off. Okay, so we already started our gravity turn. These should be getting ready to fall off. Okay, so the fuel tank's running low. So now in our autopilot status it says gravity turn. So this is what the gravity turn looks like. And these should be emptying off any time now. Or decoupling in a second. Okay, so there they go. Now we just have to wait for all the staging. Okay, so now that stage just went off. Or went out. So now we just have this guy here. Okay, so now all we can do is just sit back and wait. So let's go into map mode. Let's see here. Our Apple Apps, this is not growing. Well, it is growing, but not really fast. And again, if you're going to not use MacJet, which I'm only using MacJet so I don't if I accidentally mess up or crash or something, I do not want it to be in this video, so I'm not using MacJet. But if you are not going to be using MacJet, you do need to add RCS, or it'll be really hard to control this top heavy rocket. So you will need RCS if you're not going to use MacJet. Okay, so this engine or this, not engine, fuel tank is getting towards the end. And it's almost completely flat now. So our apoapsis is growing pretty steadily or pretty fast now. But our fuel in there is running out. Okay, so we're growing like really fast now. The apoapsis in orbit. So we will get around the Earth before I'm pretty sure we'll get around the Earth before that fuel tank runs out. I think we will. Okay, no we didn't. But that is okay. So we have these guys here, but you will have to wait a while for these to do their job because they are so slow. So you do have to wait a while, but I guess that's okay. So I'm going to pause until our maneuver node pops up over here. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back here for the video. And as you can see, the maneuver node has came up. And if you have auto warp selected, do not try to auto warp to the maneuver node because it could jack it up. But if the auto warp never starts, you have to. Sometimes it doesn't start. So I'm gonna auto warp until I get to this line. Oh wait, never mind. It's starting itself. You just have to give it a second or two, but it eventually does start. Okay, so now all you can do is wait. It'll stop it just in time. Like that. And obviously, with those teeny engines, you will have to wait. Like, I would say, you will have to wait a while. I'm not quite sure how long, but you will have to wait because those engines are really small and they don't go very fast. Because I was sitting here for probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to finish getting this orbit perfect. So yeah, it will take a little. Okay, so T-minus 50 some seconds. Oh, never mind, it's already started. So I will come back when this is done. I'll start the video back when that's done. So I'll pause the video and be right back. Okay, hello guys, I'm back. So we are in our last little stage or bit of this burn to get into our orbit here. Okay, so here we are. So now once you get into orbit, you can X out of a sync item. Okay, so now if you did use the first, let me show you the orbit. So here's our orbit, blah blah blah. And if you did use the whatever it's called, the gosh, I forget what it's called, the staging or the where you can click the buttons and your solar panels come out. The I forget what action groups, that's what it is. You can go ahead and use those. So I'm gonna go ahead and deploy all my solar panels here. Pretty cool. Okay, so here are my solar panels. So now I'm going to deploy the little satellite things. The dish. Satellite dishes, I guess that's what it kind of looks like. And now I'm going to turn on the lights. Okay, so here she is. Really crazy looking. Kind of. Okay, so there it is. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and leave a comment if you have any questions, and subscribe if you want to see more. And this is only my second video, but I will be having much more, and there'll probably be some Clash of Clans videos, but there will be some probably Clash of Clan videos. So please comment, rate, and subscribe, and